If you're planning a Disneyland trip with your toddler during the 70th celebration, you're in the right place. And you're not going to want to wing this. In this video, I'm bringing down every single part of the 70th celebration, from the shows to snacks to souvenirs, and calling out what's actually worth doing with your toddler and what you can totally skip. Here at Jetstream Adventures, I help busy parents plan stress-free Disney vacations that feel magical and manageable. So first, just a general overview. Disneyland's 70th celebration kicked off on May 16th of this year, 2025, and it's running the whole way through summer 2026, so you have a long time to check it out. A lot of the festivities seem to be tapering off mid-August to make way for the Halloween celebrations that will start in towards end of August. So we'll see how much is actually there come end of August. If you're really wanting to make sure that you don't miss the 70th celebration, I would get there at some point this summer. The official anniversary date is July 17th because Disneyland opened on July 17th, 1955. But the entire summer is packed with events and food around the theme, which is Celebrate Happy. The park right now is filled with anniversary decor, entertainment, and more. And there's a lot of nostalgic elements too. Personally, I'm not from the West Coast, so I didn't grow up going to Disneyland, but you will see they're bringing back a lot of events like the Paint the Night Parade. So keep an eye out for some familiar favorites. All right, what are the best experiences for your toddlers? The one thing you will most definitely be checking out is the new feature in It's a Small World. Miguel and Dante from Coco are now in It's a Small World, and I did get a chance to film it, so I'll relay that here. It's so cute. Growing up on the East Coast going to Walt Disney World, you notice the little differences between the two resorts. And one thing that's so cool about the Disneyland It's a Small World that is not in the Orlando parks is there are movie characters like Ariel, Woody and Jessie that you can look for in Disneyland, and we don't have that at Orlando. So that's such a fun feature with the It's a Small World, besides of course the outside overlay that you don't in Magic Kingdom. That's something definitely to check out. It's a Small World is included with Lightning Lane, and I always recommend Lightning Lane Multipass for Disneyland. If you are unfamiliar with how Lightning Lane works, I'm going to be doing a whole video breaking down and give you my strategy tips for it, because Lightning Lane does require some strategy if you're not familiar. So I will completely walk you through that. If you're not already, make sure you click subscribe and the notification bell so you'll be alerted when that video does post. It's a Small World also does feature a nighttime projection show. However, the times are pretty late. The times are 10, 10:15, 10:30. That's pretty ambitious for toddlers. It's definitely possible depending on what your nap time strategy is. Just depends on how you think your toddler can do. And speaking of, I will also be doing a whole video on nap time strategy because, again, there is a strategy to it. So make sure you're subscribed so you can see that. If you want that video sooner rather than later, drop a comment below and I will get working on that. Another entertainment feature that you'll definitely want to check out is the Celebrate Happy Cavalcade, which is happening in Disneyland Park. That's every day at 1:30 and at 2:45. Now, if you look on the website on the app, it's going to say that the Cavalcade is located on Main Street USA, and that's definitely an option for viewing, but it actually starts on the side of It's a Small World closest to the Matterhorn, and it wraps around the Sleeping Beauty Castle and then comes down Main Street. So if you're wanting to get a good spot with kids and strollers, it can be hard to find a good position. Know that the Cavalcade stretches that far around the park, so don't feel like Main Street USA is the only place to view it. On the Disney California Adventure side, there's going to be a Better Together Pixar Pals Celebration Parade, and that's running daily at 2:30 and 5. What's neat about that is they do have an optional dessert party that you can sign up for as an extra added cost, but that gives you premium seating and a fun little snack in the middle of the day. Dessert parties are typically only offered for nighttime entertainment for the nighttime shows. That's a way that your younger kids can still participate in the fun of a dessert party and getting front row seats for a live show without having to stay up super late. So that's something definitely to check out. There are also some inner experiences that you'll notice throughout the parks that give a little bit of extra magic right now. There is a Key to Disneyland scavenger hunt, which involves buying a physical key that's pretty big, and there are 10 secret spots located throughout Disneyland Park that your little ones can put your key in. Magical things happen at each of these 10 stops, and then at the end, when they find the 10th one, there is a special little souvenir that's revealed within the key. I won't give it away in case you're wanting to keep it a surprise, but Justine did a really great overview in a short of where the 10 stops are and opening the key, so I'll link that below. There are also Photopass lenses that you can take advantage of. Remember, Photopass is included in the Lightning Lane Multipass, so if you purchase the Lightning Lane Multipass for the day, which I do recommend doing anyway, just for the Lightning Lanes themselves, then you already have that included. So definitely make sure that you have the Disneyland app downloaded and check out those features. Those make great little keepsakes and fun pictures to keep. There's also a new guided tour just for the 70th celebration. It's called A Story of Celebration. It's a 2-hour experience during the park day, and it is during the day. Something neat about the experience is that it does include reservations for premium seating for the Paint the Night Parade. Paint the Night Parade is pretty late. It's every night at 8:45 and 10:45. 8:45 could possibly be doable. 10:45 is a lot, so know that that's an option. The 70th celebration also include themed foods throughout the park, which is always my favorite part, is finding those specialty snacks throughout the celebration. One that I tried that I loved is the cold brew at Café Daisy. It's a vanilla cream cold brew with sprinkles. What I love about this, and no one talks about this with cold brews, is a lot of the specialty cold brews that everyone is like chattering about online with cold brews that you have to try throughout the parks. A lot of those restaurants don't open up until 10, 11 a.m. And if you're rope dropping, I need my cold brew like now. I need my cold brew like at rope drop. Like 11 o'clock is not cutting it. So I loved that Cafe Daisy is actually open at Rope Drop, and Toontown is somewhere that you're probably going to be anyway one of the days on Rope Drop, because you can rope drop Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I actually recommend, even if you do have the Lightning Lane Multipass, trying to rope drop Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway one of the days, because Lightning Lane Multipass works once per ride per day, per person. But it doesn't mean that you can only ride that ride once per day. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is my kids' all-time favorite ride. Some days riding it once a day isn't enough. We will still try to catch it when there's a low line. The Lightning Lane Multipass doesn't have to be the only time that we use it per day. That's something great to keep in mind. Also, I highly, highly, highly encourage checking out the playgrounds at Toontown and sipping a cold brew while your kids run around and burn off some energy is a great combination. It would not be a Disneyland video if I didn't mention a churro, and of course there's a 70th celebration churro. It is an ube sugar and blue raspberry drizzle. It is available near Big Thunder Haunted Mansion and Town Square. Another cute food to check out is Mickey-shaped waffles at Schmoozies in Disney California Adventure Park. And these are filled with a strawberry cream and have sprinkles. You can't go to Disney without getting a Mickey waffle. That's like essential. There's also glow cubes and popcorn buckets. And what I love about that is that they're not only snacks, but they're also souvenirs. At our last trip to Disneyland, we were eating lunch at Blue Bayou. The family at the table next to us had ordered a glow cube for one of their toddlers at their table, and they were so kind as to send our daughter, who was 3 at the time, a glow cube for her to enjoy. I was really surprised at how that just really kept her entertained pretty much the entirety of our lunch. I didn't even think to order something like that for the entertainment purposes for her, but that was really our saving grace for the Blue bag lunch. The next thing you'll definitely want to check out as part of the 70th celebration is the special merchandise that's available. The one thing I saw everyone wearing was the gold sequin ear hat that is everywhere. One thing that I found out that was pretty cool was apparently that hat comes in 2 sizes, and there was only 1 size in the merch shop that I was in Tomorrowland. The cast member was explaining to one of the guests that if you can't something in your size in that merch store, go to a cast member and ask. They can look up in the system an inventory of all of the merchandise stores on property, and they can tell you which store it's at. That is great to know for when you go. A couple of things that we snagged when we were there is we had to get Minnie in her beautiful dress. I really love the colors of the celebration. It's so cute. And if your kids are like super into Minnie, super into this outfit, they have a matching dress for kids to wear, which is so cute. So you can get a dress that looks exactly like this Minnie, which I think is so adorable. My kid's got Pluto, which is so cute. He's all decked out in his little collar. Very cute. As far as merch goes, one tradition that we have been doing as a family is we always get a Christmas ornament when we go on a Disney vacation. So this is the one that we got for our trip to Disneyland during the 70th celebration. Of course, I had to get Minnie in her dress because her dress is so cute. I love it. And then the last aspect of the celebration that I'll touch on is the nighttime entertainment. I saved that for last because we personally didn't do any of it. And depending on how you plan your naps, you could possibly partake in these. I'll let you know the times of each of them so you can make the call for your family, but we personally did not make it. There's the Tapestry of Happiness projections on It's a Small World, and that is every day at 10, 10:15, and 10:30, and some nights on 11:45, check the app to make sure if you're wanting to go to the 11:45. That's ambitious in my opinion, but you do you. That is on the It's a Small World ride. So crowds gather in front of the It's a Small World ride for that. There's also the World of Color One Happiness, and the World of Color is always around, but this One Happiness is the special 70th celebration. There's an intro from the Muppets that is not in the normal show. That is going to be Sunday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday at 9 p.m. and 10:15. Again, later, kind of ambitious. You could maybe do the 9 o'clock if you get a really good solid nap in. The nice thing about the Disney California Adventure World of Happiness is that there are dessert parties available. That gives you reserved seating and there are drinks included. You get a cute little dessert box. If you're gonna stay up late, I would take advantage of something like that so you actually get a good seating, considering you have little ones that may not be able to see well. Getting that reserved seating is a great option if you really want to check out that event. And then the Paint the Night Parade is in Disneyland Park. That is every night at 8:45 and 10:45. 8:45 could be doable, and there is an option for a dining package with Plaza Inn that gives you reserved viewing. And also, I had talked about earlier that Story of Celebration guided tour does give you premium viewing access to the parade as well. This is a fan favorite from the past that they're bringing back. If you have been to Disneyland before, you grew up going to Disneyland, this is something that you're going to recognize as being familiar. Like I said, I'm from East Coast, so I grew up going to Disney World. This is all new to me. If you are familiar with Disneyland or you've been going for years, this is something exciting to share with your kids. Now, if you haven't booked your trip yet or you're on the fence, I have some thoughts on where to stay, and there are some promotions going on that might sway you towards going. So let me share those with you. I am so biased towards the Grand Californian Hotel. It's my favorite by far. I just think in terms of convenience for younger kids, there's no hotel that's even close. I always recommend it for little ones, and I'm doing a whole video on it breaking down everything about Grand Californian and comparing it to the other Disneyland hotels and some off-property hotels. Make sure you're subscribed so you can check out that video next week. But if comfort and proximity are the most important factors to you, which if you're a parent of toddlers, they should, then Disney's Grand Californian Hotel is just the best. Right now, Disney's running a promotion. They're doing up to 20% off Disneyland resort hotels Sunday through Thursday. You have to travel by August 15th, so by the end of the celebration, and you have to book by July 31st. They also have discounted tickets. The one park per day ticket is $120 for a 3-day and $100 per day for a 4-day. The park hopper and the Lightning Lane Multipass can be added on top of that, which I always recommend doing with younger kids. Even though the Lightning Lane Multipass is definitely more limited when you compare it to Walt Disney World, it's still so worth your money to avoid the lines that you can when you have younger kids. If you book directly through the website, you can call Disney and ask for the promotions to be applied. And if you booked through a travel agent, you should contact your travel agent directly to get those promotions applied. So that is your full walkthrough of Disneyland's 70th celebration, with every toddler-friendly, high-value experience broken down for you to help you travel smarter. If you're not already, make sure you're following along on Instagram and TikTok. At Jetstream Adventures, I cover all things Disney parks and Disney cruises. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so I can see you next week. Bye!